Here we are in a estate from the family Mastroberardino. We have 13 different estates located in the different wine districts of Irpina mainly. Irpina is part of Campania, and it's located in the inland of Campania on the mountains. So we have this mountain viticulture that goes from about 400 meters up to 700 meters on the sea level, and it's the most prestigious part of Campania due to this elevation, due to the conditions of soil, microclimate and exposure. And of course also for the selection of these very ancient and noble grapes coming from the heritage of Greek and Roman time. The three main grape varietals are Fiano, Greco and Aglianico, that are the basis for the production of the three most important DOCG wines that we have in the area. That means Fiano di Avellino DOCG, Greco di Tufo DOCG and Taurasi DOCG. Taurasi is the noblest expression of Aglianico grape, a big red wine. So these are the three most important wines that we produce here, but we have many other grape varietals that are typical, ancient of the region, that you can find also only in this region, and so this just to testify the importance of this region as a wine district. Irpina as a province in the beginning of last century, beginning of 1900s, was the second province of Italy in terms of quantity of grapes produced, after Rome. So after the Castelli Romani, Irpina was a very huge producer of grapes. My family has been working here with the same grapes in the same area in terroir since 1750. So it's 10 generations now that my family has been working in the same area with the same wines and grapes. And 10 generations meaning that it's a long history that can be showed not only by documents but also by wines, bottles. We have about 1 century of history of these old bottles of Taurasi, testifying the fact that these wines in the past were produced with the same, I must say, with the same sensibility for quality. When we open a bottle from the 20s or the 30s, it's still amazing. It's still a wine extremely vivid and alive, and still expressing fruitness and still expressing all the characters of the grapes of the area. The Mastroberardino family has been the preserver and the promoter of these grapes and wines for several generations during the past decades, but also the past 2 centuries. If you consider that my family started with my great-grandfather exporting wines to Americas, both North and South America, and also to several countries in Europe in 1878. That was the starting point of the period of internationalization of this family brand. Well, Campania is a symbol of biodiversity, an important symbol for this, because we really can have very different conditions in each part of the country. At the same time, we have the possibility to concentrate on different grapes in different districts. So we have a specialization in these wine districts. So in Irpina we have the north part, the small north part of Irpina that is dedicated only to Greco. So there we can produce the Greco di Tufo DOCG, 8 small villages. Then we have a little bit south of this, we have the Fiano area. There you will find only Fiano grapes, and we produce from there only the Fiano di Avellino DOCG. And on the eastern part of this wine district, we have the Taurasi DOCG, the limited area. And there we produce only the Aglianico for Taurasi. Then we have experiments, of course. So we have an Irpina DOC appellation that makes all these DOCG districts together, and then we can do some experiments. But these 3 wines, these 3 DOCGs are the backbone of our production and are the best known and the most representative wines, and are extremely interesting because, as I said for the reds, this potential that is given by the soil, minerality, acidity, longevity is also a characteristic for the whites. So we have whites that can be aged perfectly, and they can be tasted in vertical for 30 different vintages, giving extraordinary experiences. And so this is another thing that makes a little bit the difference in terms of viticulture for Irpina, that is really a very, very lucky environment. Volcanic nature, not only, also the microenvironment, meaning not only the soil, but also these currents that make the difference. I mean, we are in the Apennine. Irpina is made of a valley, and all around we have mountains going up to about 2,000 meters of elevation. This means that we have protection against the freezing currents coming from the Balkani. We have protection from freeze on every side, but we have a very good influence from the currents of the Tyrrhenian Sea. So we have a beautiful, continental climate. And even when in the past decade we have had some very hot harvests for Italy, in many regions in the main part of Italy, many people had to pick the grapes in advance, 1 month, even more. We didn't have any advance for harvesting because we have a late maturation of the grapes due to the fact that we only work with indigenous varietals, with very ancient grapes that mature very late, and at the same time we have this very fresh condition of weather that allow us, when we get into September, to refresh grapes in the vineyards, and so we don't have this very bad impact on the maturation curve in the vineyards. This is strategic for us, for the quality of our wines. So this is something that really makes Irpina different. It's the last wine district to pick, to harvest all over Italy.